Hi, it's your real estate geek, Andrew Finney here. So today we're back with real estate trends for August 3rd, 2017. Today we're taking a closer look at how much money you need for your new home down payment. So a lot of people think that you need to have a 20% down loan or 20% for your down payment of your new home. And that's just not always the case. And in fact, a certified financial planner by the name of Hal M. Brundick over at NerdWallet recently wrote a post that the 20% mortgage down payment is dead. So with that being dead, let's review 5 things that you should know, or at least ways to consider when you're considering the type of financing that you want to get into and how much to plan for that down payment. So a lot of buyers don't know that you don't have to have 20% down. There's pros and cons to having a 20% down loan. Obviously, one of the pros would be that you would be able to avoid the monthly mortgage insurance premium. So, but that's also a lot of money. You know, depending on the average sales price where you are right now, 20% could be $100,000, $200,000 or more dollars. And it can take a substantial amount of time, obviously, to save up that kind of cash, right? So here's the thing. The reason I'm making this video for you guys today is number 1, to keep you abreast of what's going on in the market, and number 2, to let you know that these options do exist everywhere in every state across the United States, because a recent National Association of Realtors study had concluded that actually only most buyers between 34 and under, only 13% of them knew that you could buy a home for less than 20%. So that's really kind of scary, because, you know, and the reason that it's scary is because if you're out there right now renting and you're trying to save up this 20% down loan, it might take you 6 years, it might take you 10 years, it might take you an extended amount of time. Who knows? I mean, it's a lot of money, right? So whenever we look at it, and going back to it being scary, if you're in that position right now where you're renting or you want to buy your new home and you're thinking that you have to have 20% down, that could prevent you from buying a new home. And if it took you 6 years or 10 years and the market continues to escalate, as we know historically it will, then that new home could cost you a lot more money on the backside, and your purchasing power and the amount of money that, or amount of home that you can get for your dollar, bang for the buck, so to speak, isn't going to be as great. So I wanted to share this with you today and let you know. So why don't a lot of home buyers know this? Well, that's probably because in a lot of financial planners, or if you have a financial advisor, or if you've listened to conventional rules of thumb or conventional logic and wisdom, they'll tell you 20% is the best and golden rule for a down payment. And yes, there are, again, strong pros and cons for that. However, please be aware, it's just not the case. You can actually get into a lot of different type of loans. FHA is a very popular loan amongst first-time home buyers, and a traditional FHA loan is 3.5% down. So that's a far cry from a 20% down payment, and if that's the difference between you getting into a home now and a home 10 years from now, go ahead and consider that and chat with your local real estate consultant and your local loan officer about your financing options with an FHA loan. There's also Home is Possible loans across the United States. Different cities, different counties, different areas have them. And the best way, again, going back to that local loan officer and local real estate consultant, is to contact them and ask them about what type of specialty programs are available for first-time home buyers or home buyers in general. One of the more interesting things that I learned from a lender that I did a video with a couple months ago is that technically to be a first-time home buyer only requires that you haven't owned a home in the most recent 3 years. So even if you bought a home 5 years ago, but you don't live in it now and you haven't owned it for at least 3 years, then you will be considered a first-time home buyer, and you may be able to qualify for some of those first-time home buyer loan types and credits. So it's something to consider whenever you're out there getting ready and planning to buy your new home. So a typical down payment on like a conventional loan, people, again, going back, say it's 20%. That's just not the case. There's a lot of conventional loans out there and a lot of great lenders that are local lenders that can help you with getting a 3% down conventional loan. There's 1% down conventional loans even. So, you know, just be aware of that. So with a conventional loan, again, you can go down as low as 1% in different cases, depending on the lender. Check with a local lender. That's always the key. The local lender is going to know your market and know what options are available in your specific state, city, and county. And that's what you want on your side when you're out there home shopping. The second thing to consider is that you also have VA loans. So if you're active duty or a veteran, you can get a VA loan, and those come with a 0 down loan. Now, the trick about a VA loan is simple, and I'm a retired Marine, so I'm just letting you know now. If you're watching this and you're active duty or you're a veteran, just pay attention. If you have used that VA loan and you don't have a disability rating granted from the Veterans Affairs Office of 10% or more, you're going to incur a funding fee from the VA itself. So it's not like it's a down payment, it's just a fee that the VA charges to keep the program going. So if you don't have that 10% disability rating, plan on having that as a form of a down payment when it's really not a down payment. It's just a funding fee that goes to the VA to support the VA program. The next type of loan that you have that's extremely popular as well is a USDA loan. So with a USDA loan, they're really interesting. They're not talked about a whole lot because it is another specialty loan program, and it shares a lot of commonalities with the FHA and VA loan. Specifically, who is a USDA loan good for? Well, the USDA loan is good for people that live in rural areas of the country that to try to invigorate growth in those areas. The government has provided this loan tool to look at. So again, get with your local loan officer where you are and chat about your options and see what's going on. So even though 20% down payment is like kind of a golden rule, I'm not going to knock it, because if you can do it, my goodness, go ahead and do it, because it's going to put 20% equity into you in your new home right away. At the same time, it's not mandatory. And in fact, as things continue to go the way they are in our economy and with home prices and such, I wouldn't be all that surprised if at some point we see 20% being a little bit obsolete, and if we see Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac actually reducing the amount to 10%, where that's kind of like the new golden rule. Just know that you have a lot of options out there. I mean, today is Thursday, so if you're thinking about buying a home, or you're planning on buying a home, or you're actually out there looking right now and you need to get your financing taken care of, you have plenty of time to do it before the weekend, and contact that local real estate consultant now. Check out those reviews, check out those ratings, dig into it. This is too important to you to get anything wrong, so make sure you spend a little bit of due diligence in figuring out if you're working with the right agent for you by checking out those ratings and reviews, please. It always baffles me whenever people make this kind of an investment. Families do this and they don't even fact check or check and see and make sure they have a good real estate consultant by checking the ratings and reviews of those agents. So, and loan officers for that matter. So it's just something to consider. Know your down payment options, and the best way to do that is to contact your local real estate consultant and loan officer. So I've kind of beat that point very hard in this video today, so I'm going to go ahead and back off of that, and I'll see you back with real estate trends for August 4th tomorrow. So if you like this real estate video, go ahead and just give me a thumbs up and share it around. You never know who it's going to help, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon. Thank you and enjoy a great day.